Yo, what's up everybody, Z-Chatter here, and I am here with my week 3 recap, PRs, all that stuff, as well as my mid-season analysis, I guess. So I don't have that much time to record today, but I'm doing it anyway because it's been far too long since I've recorded one of these, and just because of that, I'll probably go a little faster over this first section than usual. Just wanted to let you know. My previous video got some good attention. Of course, people didn't like the PRs, but you know, I put Arceus Wish at what, like 6? So as long as Arceus Wish isn't like 2nd or 3rd, people are gonna be mad at me. So it doesn't really matter. I don't even care anymore. Even if I'm losing this week, they're still gonna expect to be 2nd or 3rd. So yeah. Anyway, a couple things that happened this week didn't really surprise me, but at the same time, a couple things did surprise me. So I wanted to talk about those. And the biggest surprise of this week is this first game here with Alakazam IQ versus Blazing Infernape. Of course, Blazing Infernape being the previously ranked as the highest team, the best team in the league, both on standings and power rankings, and lost to Alakazam IQ, which previously was not a very good team. So yeah, that's kind of wild, honestly. And I think that this is going to be a big boost in momentum for Alakazam IQ going into next week. And I really think that momentum is a huge deal for a team tour like this, because that's the main reason that I rank just winning. Even if you like hacks or something, I think that I rank winning is a very important thing. So if for example, Shady Business versus Apocalyptic Pawns, Shady Business probably loses if Pesky doesn't forfeit, and this is like the worst team in the league. But Shady Business didn't really fall last week, and that's because they won. I think, you know, if Pesky had played, they probably would have fallen a significant amount. But they won, and that just boosts momentum, which means that, you know, they will probably continue to do well in the next weeks, although I don't think that's happened. But that's just the main thing I wanted to say, that momentum is a big deal. And so, yeah. So that is my analysis for that first one. For the second one, you have Yusu and Friends versus Drunken Spoons. Not really a super surprising result here. I definitely expected about this to happen, where Yusu and Friends would win 4-3. And that happened, so woohoo. And then you have here Apocalyptic Pawns versus Suck My Ween. Wow. Apocalyptic Pawns was already the worst team, and they got 7-0'd. Yikes. And none of the matches were even close at all. Not only is this going to be a big confidence booster for Suck My Ween, which obviously we'll talk more about Suck My Ween later with the specific move they made in the mid-season auction. Yeah, Suck My Ween now obviously has a lot of momentum, so it's a very threatening team. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what this team does on a bit of a higher level than a normal spectator. Yeah, next you have Arceus Wish versus Team NJ 2.0. Here's one match that I wasn't very surprised about the result. I I maintain that Arceus Wish is not a very good team. And the fact that Team NJ just absolutely steamrolled them doesn't surprise me. Even if they were 2-0 or whatever going into this. But yeah, that's about what I have to say. And then you have Shady Business versus Big P Nidokings. You see Big P Nidokings finally pulling out with a win this season. They were 0-2 so far, which feels weird because I think they have a very solid team. But they were able to win here versus Shady Business, which is a pretty big upset. So that's a nice W for them. So yeah, like I said, I wanted to do this part quickly, so I have more time to talk about mids and talk about my PRs and stuff. So let's do that now. Fuck off, hacker. So I just wanted to sort of go over every move that was made in the mid-season auction, just real quick. So the first big moves we see here are Arceus Wish drops not only Kirby but also Pineapple, which is a little funny that Pineapple got dropped. Yeah, they did that, which gave them plenty of assets to work with mids, which is always a nice thing to have. And also they dropped Kirby, who I don't really know, like maybe he was inactive or something. And Pineapple, I think they mainly dropped him because he went for like 16k, and so they couldn't get a lot of money off of him. Then you have Drunken Spoons dropping Hunby, and dropping Krabby, which that's pretty funny. Because, you know, Krabby's a little bit of a meme, and we'll see a little bit of what happens with Krabby later in mids. And then you see Kirby immediately getting bidded back after being dropped by Jasper. And Jasper also places a bid on Shikus, I don't really know, who ends up being one of the highest bids of, I think the highest bid of this mid-season. As you see a couple bids coming out, and then Spoink actually bidding on Pineapple here, and that's actually the only bid on Pineapple. So Pineapple goes for 3k, which, I mean, you know, 16k Pineapple was ridiculous from Arceus Wish, but 3k Pineapple is even more ridiculous because definitely definitely not the worst player in the world there. I think he can definitely do some stuff. And then you have Habada getting bidded on by Spoink at first, although he does not end up going to Drunken Spoons, I'm pretty sure. Shikus getting bidded up again, and Habada. Yeah, Habada, I have it right. I'm fucking questioning myself. And here you have Firat Yildiz, I guess. Everyone thought his name was Farty Loads for the first, like, amount of time that he was bid, but no, his name is Firat Yildiz, I guess. It just seems like he just slammed his head on his keyboard, but it's just his name with the vowels removed, I guess. Yeah, Shikus continuing to be bid up. Brett bids on Matrix. I don't know that guy, but who knows, maybe he's good. A couple players bid up. You see Arctic something going for some money. And here's the first sell of the thing. Kirby goes to Yusu and Friends, which is pretty nice for 3k, I think. I thought he was pretty okay for 5k even, but I don't know, maybe he's been inactive or something. And continuing to bid up on Firat Yildiz there. And Pineapple gets sold for 3k. Ridiculous, as I said. You see a couple up bids going up. Nathaniel dropping Radiant. I love my guy Radiant, but you know, probably not worth the 5k. But Jasper immediately picking him up for 3k. I don't know if he's been active. I haven't seen him around in a while, but a good friend of mine, Radiant, is. And ooh, we're coming up on it. Here I am, bid 4.5k by the Pie. Now going on to the Suck My Ween. Originally, I think Pie bid on me just like a few seconds before PK was gonna bid on me and send me to the Blazing Infernapes. But I actually ended up on, well, there's more of this happens, but I do end up on Suck My Ween, which is really funny, I guess. This is not the team I expected to end up on, although I did expect that I would probably get nommed at mids. But hey, you know, it happens, and this team's pretty fire, so it's cool. And then you have Slap getting nommed. Obviously I love my guy Slap. I have no idea why Slap didn't get nommed in the regular auction. I think he like applied late, so captains didn't really notice him, but this guy's worth like 10k easily. Just people didn't notice him, so here he is in mids getting nommed. You see Havana going to Shady Business, and then Rat just upbids the Fire Rat Yildiz to 17.5 as his last player. And you see Slap getting bid up a little bit more, and I think that around here Juicy actually drops out of the Slap bid war because Slap just didn't want to play for his team, I heard. So they had to like drop out, and as you'll see, Slap going for 21.5k, leaving them with 5k left, and I went for 4.5k. And so a couple other things happen, and you'll see specifically 756. I was I don't want to scroll up, but I was at 757. It was 757 that I was nommed by Pi. And he just did this to fuck him over. But then he realized he miscalculated how much money he had. So I ended up selling to Suck My Ween anyway. Which is hilarious. And then you have more antics with Jasper and Evan just self-upbidding on Krabby for a while. It goes on for a while. They self-bid him up to 16.5k, all of their budget. But what's hilarious about this is they don't actually end up getting Krabby at all. He's just not on their team because they just didn't have any of the 16.5k because they ended up getting Chibi for much cheaper than they should have for whatever reason. I don't remember. And yeah, it's kind of retarded. I don't know. Krabby just he thought he was gonna go to a team, but then he just ended up getting dropped anyway. I don't know. And then I think that's about the last thing that happens. Oh, never mind. Eve and JoJo and Scoothawk get nommed in the last couple of days of the auction, and you know, that's cool and all, I guess. And during the auction, we also had a couple trades happening, quite a few trades actually. And it's here. Is that the first trade was happening for this thing? Yeah. So Shady Business trading. Yeah, that one wasn't mid-season. Shady Business trading Kylie, I think actually, and Mustang for Dougal. I heard Mustangs is like kind of dead. So that's probably why they traded him. And Dougal isn't trying very hard in this league either, so it's kind of weird that they wanted him. But hey, who knows? And you have Sam IQ trading Starwolf for Blinn. Doesn't really make much of a difference to me. And this was just a meme. They were just messing around. And then here's one of the biggest trades. You have Camilla Man plus Risux for Agronauts and 12k. This is one of the only trades that I think is probably beneficial for both teams, because Cavs gets Cam the Man, obviously a great player, and also Risux, well, only giving up one of his players and some money, which he probably wasn't going to use anyway. Whereas Spoink gets one pretty good player alongside 12k, and he frees up one spot on his roster, which allows him to pick up more stuff in mids. And you know, the 12k was also the only thing which allowed him to like get Slap in mid-season, which is really nice for their team. And however, what happens here is that BPN actually trades Cam the Man to Arceus Wish. So Cam the Man getting a lot of trade action this mid-season. And Arceus Wish trading Bunny for Cam the Man and JoJo, and then even JoJo switch places, but that doesn't really matter too much. So yeah, I mean, pretty even. I think that Bunny probably wasn't trying very hard on AW, is what Juicy was saying, and probably I would not have made this trade if I was Cavs, because that's mainly just because I really like Cam the Man. But who knows? And that's it. So now that we're done with all of that, I'll just look at the rosters real quick and say like what improved, what didn't improve. Alakazam IQ, I think the team seems the same, but I think that the momentum they gained from the previous week will help them out in future weeks. All the Team NJ did was pick up Matrix, which doesn't matter too much. Same thing goes for the Blazing Infernape, to pick up Ashore. You actually have quite a few changes in Arceus Wish, however. I think picking up Cam the Man is a very good thing. I think maybe if Chickus is living up to all the hype he had at mids, then he can do well. I heard JoJo's pretty good, and alongside the players that have already been doing pretty well on this team, like BD and Z, and you know, those guys. So, you know, maybe this team can do well, but I still don't like it. I still don't like the team. And you have Yusu and friends picking up Radiant and Kirby. I think that's it. Obviously, they traded for Chibi a little while ago, which I think that was a good trade for them personally. You have Drunken Spoons picking up Slap and Scoot Hawk, and also trading away Ken the Man and Risux for Agronauts. I think their team definitely improved, personally. And Big P Nidoking is one of the most active teams in mids, actually. Ended up trading for Mustang, trading for Risux, ended up with Eve, ended up with Bunny. And the team is interesting. I think that it's a lot of it's changed, but I don't necessarily think that it's like a better team. But who knows? Maybe they can continue to keep up what they did last week and do better in the coming weeks. And you have Suck My Ween, all they did was pick up me, which doesn't change much for anyone except for me. You know, but I'm the GOAT, so obviously the team's the best team in the league now. Apocalyptic Pawns didn't really do anything, which is kind of weird considering that their team isn't very good. Oh wait, no, actually they traded away who did they? I remember them doing something, but I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't think they did anything. They still have 33 in the bank and they didn't do shit. And you have Shady Business, who traded away a couple players for Dougal. I think that Mustang was dead, that's why they traded away that. And then they also picked up Habada and Firat Yildiz for their mid pickups, so I think that team has improved a little bit, but not super much. So yeah, that's about all I have to stall for until I show you guys the PRs. So here they are. So it should be a surprise to no one that Team NJ isn't first. Considering how hard they won, and considering the fact that Blazing Infernape's lost this week. So I'm gonna jump around to the picks that I actually have stuff to talk about first, because I don't really need to say, oh, Apocalyptic Pawns is 10 again, because they got 7-0'd. So first you have Drunken Spoons at 9, which is, like, they dropped a few spots. The main reason that I have some of these teams like Drunken Spoons and Arceus Wish so low on the list is just because the other teams above them are, like, it's really hard to score well in this thing because so many of these teams are really good. And I just have a hard time putting teams like Drunken Spoons and Arceus Wish above like 9 or 8. And I know that people are gonna be mad about how low Arceus Wish is. Like, they're 2-1. How could they be number 8? But I really have a hard time putting them higher than that. I don't know. And then you have Shady Business dropping a significant amount. I talked earlier about why I think that their win versus Apocalyptic Pawns didn't really drop them much, even though they barely won versus the worst team. But at the same time, I do think I was probably a little bit too kind to them. So I'm a little harsh to them this week. They did lose to Big P Nidokings, and they did almost lose to the worst team. I think they can definitely still do well, but I think that they're the worst team, the Big P Nidokings now, because they lost to them. So at 7 they are currently. And then Big P Nidokings doesn't really change much, although they did win versus the Shady Business, which is a nice W for them. And then you have Alakazam IQ rising a significant amount, as should be expected for any team that beats Blazing Infernapes. Yeah, I was very surprised by them, so good on them for doing well this week, and like I said, if they can keep up the momentum in the coming weeks, then I think they could be a team to look out for sure. And then for you have Yusu and Friends, just sort of a consistent top 5 team, Yusu and Friends, I think. So I have a hard time seeing them drop out of the top 5, and so I hope they will continue to do as well as they have been doing. Blazing Infernapes dropping 2 spots, but not that much. They're still 2-1. They still did quite well the first 2 weeks. And I still think they're a good team, but they just weren't able to win versus Alakazam IQ, and I think that'll be pretty rough on them, but who knows. And at 2 you have Suck My Ween, who just went like 7-0 plus 33 versus Apocalyptic Pawns, which is ridiculous. And people might say I'm biased now that I'm on Suck My Ween, but I think that 2 is a good spot for them. And you know, if they can continue to keep up the dominant performances in the coming weeks with my amazing support, then that will be that. And obviously at number 1 you have Team NJ, which I talked about. God, Team NJ is so good right now. I mean, Owen dropped DPL, and so he might actually try a little bit in this league now, which just makes them even better than they already were. And they were already going to be first place, and it's like, yikes. Yikes. I don't really know what to say. Other than yikes, I think this team is very good. So yeah, that's about it for me. I'll see you guys next week, where RCS Wish will drop another 5 spots. Bye.